Okay, I'm up. Welcome back to the Doctor Who Retrospective. I'm Scotty, you're not, and this episode we're looking at Fear Her. Oh no, goodness. Okay! Fear Her. In this episode, the Doctor and Rose travel to 2012 again, to the time where the London Olympics are happening. About in a minute, and find the disappearance of neighborhood kids in a small little neighborhood, and that a little girl named Chloe Webber might be at fault. Okay, first and foremost, this episode was never meant to happen. No, actually, the 11th episode was supposed to be a script written by Stephen Fry, but they found it was too expensive, and so they relied on a backup script. And then Russell T Davies said, let's make it for kids. And so we have this episode that is very much made for kids, so much that it's about missing kids. Yeah. Now, I'm going back through these ones, like the Idiot's Lantern. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. You know, and I go, oh, no, this one. It wasn't terrible, but I still don't like it. I still don't. Like I don't know, we have a cold open where this boy is outside playing soccer or football, as they call it, and he disappears. His little girl is drawing him. So us as the audience already know what's going on, and that right away is a no-no. Because once the Doctor gets there and starts to investigate, we know who it is as an audience. We're screaming at TV. It's her. It's her. You know, the only child still around. It's her. And they're just sort of lollygagging around. Yes. So the Doctor and Rose arrive in 2012. And I like this gag at the beginning, though, because, you know, you always see the TARDIS land so perfectly, but it lands between two shipping containers, and the door actually opens to one of the shipping containers. So he has to go back in and restart the thing and then re-land again. Which with the TARDIS you think would be impossible to do, but he does, so that he can go out the door normally. And then we see that it's 2012, and the London Olympics are coming, and I was like, wait, where did the 2012 Olympics take place? And I looked at my phone, London. Wait, did they predict it? No, apparently they decide the Olympics years in advance. I know the Olympics are every 4 years, but it's like, you know, they took over a year to decide where next year's WrestleMania is. Usually they have an announcement at WrestleMania, but it took longer this year. And they chose the wrong place. I'm sorry, Vegas? Screw Vegas. Give Minnesota WrestleMania. Every time a WrestleMania or a Super Bowl is like, oh, Minnesota, it's right there. It's at the top of the list. And then pull it out from underneath us and it goes to somewhere else. Right? Everything was pointing to Minnesota. And then a week before WrestleMania 40, hey, you know, I hear Vegas is in the running. And I'm like, no. Everything was saying Minnesota. What the hell? And then Vegas got it. Yeah, London. Oh, by the way, I will point this out now so I don't forget. The Doctor at the end of the episode says that Papua New Guinea is going to shock everyone in shot put. And that is a prediction that did not happen. No. The top three medals, the gold, silver, and the bronze, were not to Papua New Guinea. I don't remember what they were, but neither of them were Papua New Guinea. So, you know, Doctor Who did not inspire Papua New Guinea to win shot put, unfortunately. But yeah, so as we start this, I have a bit of a pet peeve. It's a little nitpick, but it bothers me. The Doctor's not wearing a tie. Now, I know that the 9th Doctor didn't wear a tie, 11th Doctor wore a bow tie, 12, 13 didn't wear ties, but 10 wore a tie. And in this episode, he's not wearing a tie. And it bugs me. It does. So they get there and they begin to, the doctor's rambling on about edible ball bearings while Rose notices the missing children. And once the doctor realizes it, he gets all giddy and starts investigating these weird, occurrences with like an ion field or something. Yeah. I do like the scene with the cat. Rose eventually finds a cat, and then we see that Chloe's drawing the cat. Again, we see that she's doing all this stuff, but they're still clueless. And then the cat disappears. It's a little cop out that you had to have the cat walk into a box first and then disappear. You could have cut away to Rose going, oh, it disappeared. We didn't have to see it disappear. You didn't have the technology to make it look like it disappeared. But when you're CGI, it looks like butt juice anyway. I don't know. Maybe you could just... It's not butt juice. It's just not fantastic. It looks better than Reboot, but worse than Jurassic Park. Worse than Jurassic World. Yeah, I went there. Anyway, it's better than Lawnmower Man, but worse than Spawn? I'm sorry, that big demon thing in the Satan pit reminded me of the thing from Spawn. Yeah, cat. Kind of a cop-out, but it works, I guess. Eventually they, hey, this kid, she's the only one left, let's talk to her. The mom knows something's going on, but there's this old lady who's just like in the cold open, she's like, it's not safe, and the guy's like, they're playing in the garden, no, it's not safe, get away. But like, it didn't matter, they could all run away from the street, and she could just draw a picture of them, and she's only taking the kids, though. It's never fully explained why. She just is. It's not all her neighbors, just the kids. And it's explained that they don't want them to be lonely. She doesn't want to be lonely. Well, the doctor goes to investigate, and he does this thing where he grabs her head, and we find out that it is an alien race called the Isolus, and then we get an exposition dump from the doctor. They were a race of aliens that are born... They're small little aliens in a pod. They're born in billions. And it turns out that this one was lost from the others. And crash landed sometime 6 days earlier. And found his way inside of Chloe Weber's body. Yes. See, how I explained it there, it makes sense. It's done pretty well. But how they explain it, I was alone. We were in space. I was alone. I found Chloe Weber. Yeah, they have this girl, who, by the way, can act her way out of a paper bag when she's not doing that, do this raspy, whispery voice the entire time that she's speaking as the High Solus. And she doesn't act that well to begin with, in the first place. She sings a Kookaburra song. When she, later it's found that's a song that calms her down, but why is she singing it when she's drawing the little boy at the beginning of the episode? That makes no sense. Also, she's having nightmares of her dad, who apparently was abusive when he was alive. And this mean version that really is only there to add on to the episode, to just kind of pad the episode. Yeah. Once the doctor realizes what's going on, the mom and Rose take all the colored pencils and everything and hide them. He goes back to the TARDIS, and Rose follows him, and he creates this machine that's going to help find the pod. And then the worst thing in the episode happens. That just sort of screams out, we need to pad this runtime. Because if the doctor did this, the episode would be over in a half hour instead of a 45-minute runtime. So Chloe follows them. They don't see her. She runs back up. She draws the TARDIS and the doctor, and then he disappears. He and the TARDIS both disappear, and the machine smashes. So now Rose is on her own. but she gets help from this street cleaner guy who's been there the entire time, and he's been retarring the place, and that's how Rose finds the ship. It went towards heat, and so it landed in the hot tar, so she has to break open the tar and find it. But then, what do we do? We gotta find heat, right? Well, guess what's running through London right now? The Olympic torch. Yep, the Olympic torch. So she throws in the Olympic torch. The Olympic guy's like, runs off. And that should be it, right? Everybody's so this flies out of Chloe's mouth. Everybody returns to normal except for the doctor. He's not back, but everyone else is back. All the kids are all happy. And even the old lady's like, "Thank you for whatever you did. Thank you, and thank that man for me." He's like, "Only I could find him." And then they tack on this. The evil nightmare version of Chloe's dad is still after her, even though all the other magic effects should be gone. And how do they defeat them? Well, this was made for kids, so they sing her and her mom. Now, there was a conversation between Rose and the mom earlier about how she needs to be more comforting to her. So they both, we're together, you're not alone, and they sing the Kookaburra song together, and it makes it go away. But it's not over. They're watching the Olympics, and the Olympic torch runner, he's not going to make it to where you put the big bowl you put the torch in. He collapses, but somebody grabs the torch. Who is it? It's the doctor. And he runs up the steps and puts it in the big bowl thingy, and he celebrates. Yeah. I love cheese, but that's too much of cheese for me. That's too much cheese. That's that, no. So, yes. So then the doctor and Rose reunite. He's walking down the street, and she comes from behind him, and she goes, "Cake." It's a little cupcake with the edible ball bearings, like he said. I like that nod. And he's like, "Oh, edible ball bearings." And I'm just still sitting here after he mentioned, like, edible what? And then I'm like, okay, sure, but why? Edible ball bearings, why would you? Is there edible wheels, too? Guess you can make edible anything, but it's just kind of confusing. But yeah, and then to tease something, because they realized, oh, hey, the finale's coming up. A storm is coming. But there in 2012, and the events of the finale take place in whatever present time is, 2007, 2006. Again, the whole 1 year thing is confusing. It has to be that Rose takes place in 2004. It has to be. It makes sense. Although, again, at the end of Tennant's run, I think it's contradicted. But we'll get there. So, this episode, Fear Her. No good episode. No, sorry. The whole episode, I was just like, I want to get to the finale. I want to talk about the finale. It's just, it's one of those things when you watch a TV season, it's close. You're even in rewatching, right? Where it's like, okay, we're close. We got the finale's next. I'm close to the end. Yeah, this one episode is just like a great example is season 4 of Smallville, the episode. Everyone's graduating. There's an episode, literally, based around this kid who doesn't want to graduate or move on, so he's putting people into a fake diorama. He's using his meta powers, for lack of a better term, his meteor powers, to take people, including Chloe, and put them in this fake school that he's got. And pretend that school's still going to happen. Yeah, that is the literal representation of filler right there. When I get to that episode in the smaller retrospective, we're going to talk about it. But this felt like that. Like something big's happening in the next 2 episodes. Let's put a filler. And that's what this felt like. And from the moment the Doctor leaves the episode, we just had a Doctor Light episode. And from the moment the Doctor leaves, it screams out, we need padding. Because the Doctor's got what he's got. And it's going to help them find it. And if he stayed around, they would have found it. He would have figured out the torch, because it was the picture of him that points to the torch. how the picture of the torch showed up, I don't know. And it would have been over quicker. But this gave us an extra 15 minutes at least of the episode to pad it out to the 45-minute runtime without commercials so that they can have it. Yeah. I don't think it's the worst episode per se, but it's not a good one. It's not. Is it the worst of series 2? I have to. I don't know. I don't. So anyway, what are your thoughts on Fear Her? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.